What's up, guys? Bailey here. Today in this video, I'm going to be going over my official UFC 321 predictions. We got Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane for really the undisputed heavyweight throne to see who is going to be the new champion. Now, I know Tom Aspinall is currently the undisputed champion, but that is to be kind of disputed because Jon Jones gave up the title. So this is really Tom Aspinall kind of earning the belt. Yeah, let's just go over what I believe to be is actually a very solid card. And let's go, man. Let's start off with the prelims. All right, so first fight, we got Nasrat Haqparast versus Quillian Salkilld. Quillian Salkilld, he's got some power. He did get a knockout in his last win, but I got to go with Nasrat on this one. I just think that he has higher volume. I think that he is, he is far more experienced than Quillian Salkilld. With double the fights on the resume. And I think that also Quillian Salkilld, I gotta go with the fact that he's just not as high of a level and he doesn't have as much UFC experience as Nasrat. Nasrat is a volume fighter. You know, he's a guy who keeps the pace going and he has more UFC experience. So I just kind of feel like off of that principle alone, I gotta go with Nasrat. Now, Quillian, he could catch something. He could catch him. He could get the finish, but those are all coulds and shoulds and woulds. But at the end of the day, I just think that we have to go with what we see. And what we see is that Nasrat is the more experienced guy. He has more volume. He can push the pace. He can kind of dictate these fights. And I think he can dictate this fight as well. I mean, like, he also got a win over Esteban Ribovic. I mean, Esteban Ribovic, listen, you get a win over Esteban Ribovic, man. You can certainly beat Quillian Salkilld. And I just think at the end of the day is he's on a higher level. So I'm going to go with Nasrat Haqparast. Next, we got Valter Walker versus Louie Sutherland in this heavyweight bout. Louie Sutherland, he was supposed to make his debut a couple cards ago. I remember seeing him pop up in a card, but I guess he didn't make his debut, but this is it now. So, well, I got to go with Valter Walker on this one, man. I think he has better grappling. He has a better guard. I think he's also better built for the heavyweight division. Louie Sutherland, he can catch him with a burner. That is possible. I mean, it is the heavyweight division, but I just think, I mean, you got Louie Sutherland who's like 6'3", and he weighs, I think, around the 250, 245 frame. But Valter Walker, man, listen, dude, he is just built. He's 6'6", 6'7". He's fucking Johnny Walker. Listen, I know he's not Johnny Walker's like biological brother, but fuck, I mean, you couldn't even tell the difference between like how big these two guys are. And I think Valter Walker, he's bigger. He seems more sturdy. I think Louie Sutherland's gonna have a hard time with that. On top of Valter Walker having a really good guard. And I mean, outside of a puncher's chance, I don't see Louie Sutherland winning, so I got to go with Valter Walker. And I could see maybe by submission as well. So, yeah, next fight, man. We got Hamdy Abdelwahab versus Chris Barnett. I'm going to be real, man. I'm going to go with Chris Barnett. I feel my fucking body just had like a reaction to that pick, dude. Like, low-key. I'm gonna be real, bro. Like, I'm conflicted because this is like chopped and chopette. Like, I love Chris Barnett. Like, don't get me wrong. But his performances lately just have not been good. But then it's like Hamdy Abdelwahab. He shows nothing. So that's why I'm so fucking conflicted right now. That's why I'm sitting here and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I got to stick with Chris Barnett. I just feel like he has more experience. He has more in the bag. Yeah. Moving on. Ludovit Klein versus Mateusz Rębecki. This is going to be a good fight. This is going to be a fucking war, man. I actually think that this is an underrated fight. I think that Klein's got slick boxing. Even though he is a decision merchant, he has good volume. He has a good approach. He keeps his guard high. He keeps his output at a very steady volume, at a very good rate that spreads itself across the rounds, where he's not doing too much in one moment and then he's like tired in the next. He pops off, bop, 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 and then sits, kind of moves around, takes it, bop, 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 and he just goes back at it again. And I just think he has really slick boxing. You know, even though his finishing ability can be better, I don't think he's going to knock out Mateusz Rębecki. That's just not going to fucking happen. His durability is crazy. It is crazy. And, I mean, Rębecki's good, but, I mean, Chris Duncan put the fucking hurt on him, dude. I mean, he looked beat up. I mean, his eye was all swollen. It was crazy, dude. So with that, after watching that fight, I love Rębecki, but I got to go with Ludovit Klein. I think that Klein's going to get the win. I just think that Rębecki's defense, I think he relies too much on his toughness, right? Where he's going to get hit 2-3 times just so he can land the one. And Ludovit Klein, he's too clean. He's too polished. Rębecki, I guess, could catch him, but he's not really known to be a power puncher. He's just not known for that kind of thing. He's really known more for taking a lot of fucking abuse. And then he's going to give it back to you. So, yeah, I got to go with Ludovit Klein to take the win. All right, next, we got Ikram Aliskerov versus JunYong Park, the Iron Turtle. I want to say that JunYong Park is going to win, but I don't think so. I think that for me, he could impose his will. I mean, his nickname is the Iron Turtle after all. And he could break Ikram down. But Ikram either KOs people or gets KO'd. In the UFC, he has 3 knockouts, and the only knockout he got was from Robert Whittaker, which, I mean, shit, that's not like bad. You know what I mean? That's not bad at all. JunYong Park, he has, I think, exceptional conditioning, but I think he fights a little too plotty and putsy and like kind of too stiff for me, right? Where Ikram's got movement, he moves around, he can throw some kicks, right? Shoot some takedowns, right? Give you some different looks. So I'm going to have to go with Ikram here. I just feel like that he is just a little bit more athletic, a little bit more able to do things a little bit quicker, just a fucking hair quicker. Where JunYong Park, he seems to be slow, methodical. He doesn't really seem to care about getting hit as much as giving the hits out. So yeah, I got to go with Ikram here on this one. All right, so now we got Aleksandar Rakić versus Azamat Murzakanov. Listen, dude, I want to pick Aleksandar Rakić because he's taller, he's bigger, but I got to go with Azamat here, dude. And someone compared him to like an old, like Fedor Emelianenko, essentially, his fighting style, because he's the shortest light heavyweight. You know, he's a little bit smaller than everybody. I mean, fuck, I've used him in UFC 5 on random before. It's not too bad. I think Aleksandar Rakić, I think he should go up to heavyweight. I think that's where his chin would really, really be. I think he could make a good light heavyweight, but Yuri kind of got to him. Magomed got to him. And in his fight against Magomed, he didn't really show anything. I actually had him winning that fight, and he didn't. So I just feel like with me, he lost it. And I got to go with Azamat Murzakanov. So, yeah, that's what I got. Next, man, we got Alexander Volkov versus Jailton Almeida. This one, I would suggest that this fight does have some number one contender implications to it, if you will. Or at least that's how I would view it if I was these two gentlemen. Now, actually, I met Alexander Volkov. I'll throw up a photo here. Don't mind my hair or everything about me. But, well, Volkov is fucking tall, dude. He is massive. And I think that he is on a higher level than Jailton Almeida. I think outside of Jailton Almeida being comfortable working from his back and being in the grappling realm, you know, or even having top position, I think that Volkov has better striking, better pacing, and I thought that he looked pretty good in his fight against Ciryl Gane. I thought he won that fight, if I'm being real, and anyone who watched that fight would agree that Volkov got robbed. And I'm going to be honest, I think outside of Jailton Almeida having a puncher's chance, I just kind of don't see him really winning this fight, so I got to take Alexander Volkov. Next, we got Umar Nurmagomedov versus Mario Bautista. I got to say, I got to go with Umar Nurmagomedov, man. I think he's on a higher level, on pretty much every facet, you know, and people want to say, well, oh, you're a casual. You're saying it's a Nurmagomedov and all that. Dude, he gave Merab the most competitive fight leading up to this point in his title defenses, right? I mean, he's on a higher level in the grappling than Mario Bautista. He's a higher level striker than Mario Bautista, right? He's better than Mario Bautista on quite a few facets, right? Mario Bautista, listen, I know he had a good showing against Patchy Mix. He had a good showing against Aldo. He's had good showings against these guys, but they were boring. He'd either like cage fuck them, or, I mean, the only fight where he was really active was his fight against Patchy Mix. And not to mention, the competition that these two have fought is vastly different. The best guy that Mario Bautista fought was Jose Aldo, and he was out of his prime. Meanwhile, Umar Nurmagomedov, his last fight was Merab. And before that was Corey. You know what I mean? So it was like a bit of a higher competition there. And just off of that alone, I should be picking Umar. But that's not why I'm picking him. It's one of the reasons why, but not the biggest reason why. The biggest reason why is because everything that Mario Bautista can do, Umar can do on a better and higher level, where the striking is going to set up the takedowns, you know what I mean? Or the takedowns are going to set up the striking, and Umar can mix those things up. Do I think Mario Bautista can do that at a championship tier level? Like, do I think he can do that at a championship tier level where he can compete with Merab? Fuck no. At least Umar did compete with Merab in some levels of the fight. Now, towards the end, when he got tired, then Merab started taking it over. But shit, at least Umar gave him, like, the best challenge, you know? So for that reason, I got to go with Umar Nurmagomedov. He's simply on a higher level. Number 8 and number 2. Too big of a difference, I believe, from Mario Bautista. All right, next for the co-main event, we got Virna Jandiroba versus Mackenzie Dern. I'm going to be real, both these ladies, with all due respect to their grappling and their jiu-jitsu skill set, which is very high level, this is going to be a stinker. This is going to be a boring fight to watch. In my opinion. Listen, Virna is a high-level jiu-jitsu practitioner, I guess if you want to say, within, for lack of a better term, where Mackenzie Dern is also a great jiu-jitsu practitioner. They both know how to implement their ground games very, very well. So part of me feels like that it's really just going to kind of come down to who has the better hands, who has the better, what's the word am I looking for here? I guess who wants it more, you know, because I think that these two are going to respect each other's ground game enough to where they go, well, hey, well, we might need to keep things on the feet. I think that this is going to be like a sloppy boxing match, jiu-jitsu grappling match, if I'm being completely honest. And I'm going to be real. I really don't mean to be that kind of guy, but it's hard to care for this fight, especially because Zhang Weili was the champ of this division, but she vacated her title to go fight Valentina Shevchenko. I got to go with Mackenzie Dern on this one. Virna Jandiroba, she's good, but she's super boring. Not enough output. Mackenzie Dern at least has output on the feet. She mixes things in well, where Virna does not. I don't feel like her hands are as good as Dern's. I don't feel like she's as good. On the ground, I would say it's damn near even, but on the feet, Mackenzie Dern has that advantage. So I think that Dern's going to be able to set things up a little bit more and give her a little bit more trouble. So I got to go with Dern. Next, for the main event, we got Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane. This one we have been waiting for. We've been waiting 2 years pretty much for Tom Aspinall to get a shot at undisputed gold. Now, I know that he is the undisputed champion, but as I said earlier in this video, that is disputable. Only because the practice and the tradition, right, where interim champ fights undisputed champ, and we get the result of that. But that did not happen. Jon Jones retired, vacated the title. Tom Aspinall has the title. Ciryl Gane gets an undeserved title shot. Usual procedures. And I'm not rooting for Ciryl Gane on any level. He seems to be a cool, great guy. He's a very high-level striker. Great kickboxing, but it's undeserved. His fight against Aleksandar Volkov, he lost, and that's just the truth. He lost the fight. He didn't put up a winning effort. He didn't put up a number one contender, championship opportunity earning effort. It was ass. It was terrible. And meanwhile, he's going up against TA, Tom Aspinall, Magnum TA, right? Best finishing ability in the UFC right now. People want to say, well, Bailey, oh, what are you thinking? This guy's average fight time is 1 minute and 50 fucking seconds. He's getting guys out of there in like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I mean, what the fuck? We think Ciryl Gane's really going to beat this guy? No, he's not. He's virtually better on every facet, on every fucking facet. Maybe the kickboxing Ciryl Gane has him on, but he doesn't have him on the grappling. He doesn't have him in the boxing. He doesn't have him in the agility. He doesn't have him in the fight IQ. He doesn't have him on literally anything else that you would need for this, right? I mean, fuck, Ciryl Gane's 0-2. He's 0-2. You know what I'm saying? But also he's better than everybody else that the heavyweight division has to offer. So that's why he's getting this title shot. So with all that being said, I got to go with Tom Aspinall by knockout, round 2 or 3. I think Tom Aspinall is going to try to drag this thing into later rounds to prove a point, because that's what he's been talking about. How everyone says that he can't go into deep waters, or he can't be dragged later on to the fight. So I think that's what he's going to do. That's what he's going to try to do. But I think he's going to get the knockout on Ciryl Gane. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. This was my breakdown of UFC 321 from some prelim fights all the way up to the main card, main event. And yeah, let me know down in the comments who you guys think is going to win. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.